morning, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Girls in Property podcast. So today is going to be slightly different to usual, and you probably noticed that, as I'm going to be doing a 20-minute solo episode for you today. And the reason for that is I am actually in Mexico when this podcast is going to be released on Monday, the 25th of November. And so therefore I do a really quick 20-minute episode all about the gala actually, and the reasons to attend, and kind of the reality, and bring you in kind of a behind the scenes on the gala and the highs and lows of preparing and planning it, and everything that comes with it. So hopefully I'm going to be listening myself to this episode while I'm sunning it up on a beach somewhere in Mexico. It will be my last day while I'm there. So hopefully I'm listening in thinking that I've had a fabulous holiday. As I freeze literally here in the house at the moment. I don't know about you guys, but it's just so cold at the moment. So I'm going to speak to you for about 20 minutes, do a mini episode. And you never know, I might do some more mini episodes going forward, just to chat about lots of different things within sort of life and the industry and anything else that might be happening at that moment. So for celebrations, nice and easy, I'm of course going to be celebrating the fact that I'm able to travel the world whilst working. So of course I'm in Mexico at the moment. I have no doubt I've probably worked for the last 10 days. I love the fact I'm speaking in the future tense to myself. Working for the last few days, planning the gala, planning everything that needs to happen, leading up to it, and everything else with the businesses that are happening with all the mentees at the moment, whilst also having the properties that I do have, and keeping everything juggling and afloat. But the fact that I'm able to do it whilst traveling the world is an absolute blessing. It really is. And so I feel blessed every single day that I managed to do that. So for 20 minutes, I wanted to speak to you about a couple of different things. So the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of explain about why I am doing the Girls in Property Christmas Gala and the realities behind what that actually looks like for a person putting an event on, effectively completely solo-handed, and kind of the reality of my life at the moment, and kind of the intricacies and the interesting things that have happened with it, the lessons, the triumphs, that type of thing, and just to speak to you about it. So first and foremost, the reason I decided to do the Girls in Property Christmas Gala is because, quite frankly, the success of the annual retreat in April with the 84 women that I had really was something else. It was exceptional. It really was. And I intended to keep it exceptional for the next retreat that's going to be happening in April 2025. And off of that, a lot of the girls said to me, they're like, Athena, the annual retreats are fantastic. What have we got in between? How can we stay in contact? Are there any more live events that you're going to do? How can we keep in contact with the other women? And so I said to them, well, what if I did something around Christmas time? Would you girls be up for it? And all the girls were like, yes, absolutely, we'll be up for it. Amazing. Would be great to see everybody and celebrate. So I said, right, I'll put on the Girls in Property Christmas Gala in that case. And I also started the Girls in Property community group where we meet online every single month, and the platform's built on Circle. So it's not like a Facebook or a WhatsApp group, because I'm not fans of those, if I'm honest with you. It's built on a professional platform where there are different spaces that girls can interact within, whether it's that they want to introduce themselves, whether it's that they want to talk about asking the community a question, whether it's the fact that they want to talk about specifically about rent to rent, buy refurbish, rent refinance, commercial conversion. There are spaces within the community that they can go and discuss those elements, as it were, which is fantastic. And the community since April has now grown to over 75 members, which is just insane. It really is. And I'm so proud of it. So the gala was born through that, through the back off the Girls in Property annual retreat, which was fantastic, and I love it. And what so many girls say to me when I receive these messages on Instagram is they always ask about how to get started in property, but what they also talk about is how lonely it can be as a property investor or a business owner. And they talk about the circles that they hang around with, and the fact that nobody really understands or gets them, or gets how difficult it is, and the fact that they have to say no to some weekends going out with friends and family because they're working, and their friends kind of take the mick out of them, and they just don't quite see what it is they're trying to achieve. So things such as the gala and things such as the Girls in Property events really bring those like-minded people together to feel like you're not alone. These are your circle. This is your network of connections to make, to really push you forward. So I think that's so important as to why sort of this was started in the first place, to create that community and to create that place to meet like-minded people. And then second of all, what's important to say is, when I first started out in property and also in business and deciding to go down this road, I remember the first networking event I ever went to, ever. And it really stood out for me. This was like 4 years ago, really stood out to me. Was I walked into a room and there was about 45 people in the room. And of those 45 people, only 3 were women, including myself. And there were just huddles of these men all grouped together, and they were quite boisterous and quite loud and drinking. And a lot of the jokes didn't quite land in the correct way. They were all a bit questionable, some of the jokes. And I just thought to myself, like, I remember thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to go and research communities of where women's events are happening, because I think that for the time being, because I'm still building up my confidence, I want to go and find those communities where I can meet like-minded women. And when I went to go research and find these, they just didn't exist. They literally didn't exist. The nearest one I got was Girls That Invest, which I think are in New Zealand, Kiwi anyway, and some other sort of ones. But there was nothing really about property and females in property like there is today. Since obviously that that interaction and that networking event I went to, there have of course been lots of different women and groups that have sort of come out of it, as it were. But I like to think that at the time I was one of the original ones with Girls in Property to think, there needs to be something in the industry. And of course I built it with my business partner at the time, Sophie Foote, and then Julia Golubieska came along afterwards, and we sort of as a trio decided that this is what we wanted to really put forward for women in the space. And so the Girls in Property podcast was formed, and then we did our first retreat, and then it kind of snowballed from there. And then I, of course, took over full time with it all, and it became mine effectively, because I love it, and I absolutely, feel with all of my heart that this is what is needed within the space. So the reason the gala exists is because sometimes, not for all, but for a handful of women, they want to connect with other women in the industry without having to be too much in mixed environments, or it be too boisterous, or them not feel quite comfortable. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And it's important for women to feel like they have their own voice heard, and that they're seen in the industry, and that there is a place for them to go and connect and to feel that. Now, for me personally, as most people will know, I can't stand boring corporate events. I literally can't stand them. So my background's in events management and marketing. So I did my degree in, and we did a module in events management, and I fell in love with it. If I didn't do this job, I probably would be like a wedding planner or something. And so, when I put events on, and apologies if I offend anybody when I say anything that I say. These are just my opinions, and I'm sure you all put on the most wonderful events. But for me, I just can't put them in these like boring Marriott rooms, and these hotels and things. And oh God, like I just think to myself, I just want to create really fun, inspiring events in manor houses. I want to make them really over the top. I want people to be like, oh, have you seen Athena's putting on another event which looks like her wedding? That seems to be the go-to at the moment. They're like, oh, is this like your wedding? And I'm like, yes, definitely, 100%. Says the girl that's not engaged or married or anything, but still. And I love to put them on, and I love to be different, and I love to think, how could I almost think to myself, what do I want from an event? And therefore I put it on. So that's what I do. That's what I did at the retreat. I held it at Pendley Manor, which is the most exceptional venue over in Hertfordshire. I'm doing the same again for the gala, and then the April retreat will be there as well. And then I'm probably going to venture out and start looking around the UK. Spoiler alert, I'm probably going to be going up, maybe Midlands, maybe North, going forward to do some more events, because I really think that it would be fantastic. And actually, when looking at the stats, believe it or not, the biggest listeners, if you're listening to this and you're in this area, shout out to you, are in Birmingham. So yeah, 38% are in Birmingham, which is absolutely incredible. Huge, huge number. So watch out, Birmingham. I may be coming your way very, very soon. So I therefore decided to put on the gala and these events, and will continue to do so because I fall in love with them, which is great. So the April treat was all a success. It was in April. Everything went really well. People were available because it's April. Costs went too high because it's April. Not many events happen around April time. So all went really, really smoothly. So I thought, how hard can a gala be to put together? Now, you'll know from this podcast that I always keep things really, really real. I never hide anything. I'm very open. I'm very honest because it's almost like, in a way, therapy for me as well, by speaking about it and speaking openly about it and sharing the realities with others as well. So, the reality of the gala is this. First of all, I'm so excited about it. I was going to try and keep as many secrets as I could about the gala, but at the same time, I really want to shout about how incredible it's going to be. So, at this particular gala, you can expect to see things, again, completely outside the box, such as fire dancers. I've got some sexy magicians, really sexy actually. I have got mixologists. I have got casino tables. I have got a Latino jazz band. I have got the 360-degree photo booths. I've got the DJ and the light up dance floors. I've got all of the different types of, like, lighting and staging, by the way, costs an absolute fortune, but I'll come on to that. Yeah, and then of course your festive 3-course dinners, and everything else. So it's really, really just all out event. And I really, really wanted to put together something that would be spoken about and could be seen as kind of the event of the year. And so I'm really looking forward to welcoming all the women to that. Sorry guys, I know you listen to this podcast as well, and I know a lot of you have messaged me asking to come along. But for this particular occasion, I have agreed, and I always hold true to what I say, that this particular event is just going to be for the women for this year. However, I will be mixing things up going forward, which I will come on to and speak about. But for this event, females only, get your best dress that you can possibly find, the one that never gets to be worn in the back of your wardrobe. That's the dress to wear to this event. I'm so excited. Think glitz, glamour, over the top. That's what I want you all to come as. So yeah, really excited. And we've got about less than 20 tickets left now. So, I've nearly hit the 80 mark in the room. And to be honest with you, on this particular event, what I'm so happy with, and it was the same for the April event as well, is it's to do with the quality of people in the room. Like, for example, I look at the guest list and I'm just pat myself on the back for the guest list, just going, these are the people I want in the room. Absolutely incredible people doing incredible things within the industry. Some newbies are coming along as well, which I'm so happy for them to meet, to be inspired by. And a lot of solo girls are coming as well. I get a lot of messages from girls saying, I'm new to property, or I'm in property. I've been in property for a while now. I've just, come across girls in property. I'm going to be traveling on my own. Do you think this is an event I can come to? Absolutely it is, because that's the whole point of it. And I read out a testimonial recently from the beautiful Carla Jarrett, who was saying, I went on my own and then realized as soon as I walked into the room, I was no longer alone. It's literally a family. And I'm so proud that I've managed to create that ambience in the room allow women to feel like they are family. I do not stand for any amount of clickiness, bullying. People think they're better than other people. Like, that is not what I stand for at all. This is a community. And I have to say, I am so overwhelmed with the incredible women in the community and who come to these events, who really embrace that and really sort of just want to be there and have a fantastic time. So yes, you can come alone. I encourage you to, actually, because it will really get you out of your comfort zone. And you never know till you actually get there, is all I'm going to say. People who have come to my events before know the type of events that I put on. And people who don't, come along, come see what I put on. What I would say is that if you've been to the retreat before, this event is going to be the retreat on steroids. So if you enjoyed the retreat, you're definitely going to enjoy the gala, because it's literally on steroids. So yes, so that's what I would say. Now, what's been really interesting is when you haven't done something before and you do something for the first time with anything, property, business, events, you learn. You learn and you grow and you take risk and you go from there. So here's a reality of the gala situation is, first of all, I had no idea, and I mean no idea, how much a Christmas event was going to cost to put together. No idea. So what I did, and I don't advise anybody do this, learn from my mistakes, was I decided to put the gala on, book the date, and wing it, basically. Wing the whole thing. I had no idea how much lighting and staging was going to cost. I had no idea how much a band was going to cost. I had no idea about how much mixologists were going to cost. I had no idea about anything. And it's almost like trying to do a refurb project to make a profit when you don't even know what your costs are. So you put tickets out at the same price that you put the retreat cost out. You go, yep, 250 again. That seems about right. That worked well for me for April. That should work well for me again at Christmas. Well, how wrong was I? And to be honest with you, I've spoken to a lot of people about this. And quite frankly, let me give you an example just so that you understand when I'm talking about this. So picture this. Picture the fact that a gala in April. No, let me start again. A band, right? Booking a band for the gala. Let's just say you wanted to book that band in April for the retreat. That band for 2 hours would cost you roughly about £695, roughly. At Christmas, that same band with that same 2 hour slot will cost you 3 times the amount of money because it's at Christmas. The staging and lighting will cost you 3 times the amount as any other time of year. Same with anything else, the venue, everything. It's like they hear the word Christmas and it's just pound signs, just like they hear the word wedding and it's pound signs. It's exactly the same. And so it's been hilarious, actually. And me being me, a lot of people said to me, well, why don't you just not do the band, just do the DJ? You don't need a live band. Why don't you just have the one photo booth instead of all the photo booths? And why don't you not have the casino tables and just do this? And I'm like, because that isn't who I am. It just isn't. I'm the type of girl that, if there's a Jaffa cake box in front of me, I don't just eat one Jaffa cake. I'll either eat the entire box of Jaffa cakes or I won't eat any. And it's like when I put on events, I'll either put the event on that I told you I was going to put on, or I won't put the event on at all. You will never, ever get anything less than 100% of all of my efforts from me. You just won't. And whether that's a detriment to me or a positive thing, I haven't quite worked out yet, but you'll always get 100% from me. And as a result of that, what it's meant is that for me on this particular occasion with the gala, this isn't like, for example, if I was on The Apprentice, you don't want to take advice from me on this particular one, because there is no profit from this event whatsoever. This is not a profit generating task, the gala, in any way, shape or form. This is me putting on an event that I want to put on for the women in property to come and enjoy and attend and meet like-minded women. So if you want to learn on this particular occasion how not to do a gala, then I can tell you all about it. But at the same time, if you want to learn about how to put on the best gala, then I can tell you all about it as well. So I have no regrets. I'm very, very proud of it. But at the same time, I think it's important to talk about the realities of life. And this particular one, this will be fantastic. I've got like 2 videographers, I've got drones there, I've got photographers. Like, the marketing will be absolutely sensational. It really will. And I see this as a long-term vision that I have for Girls in Property, and the content that will be created as a result of it. But it's certainly not a short-term profit task. That's for sure. So what I would say is this, is for anyone kind of on the fence about whether they should come to the gala or not, put it this way. I can tell you hands down, categorically, this will be the one and only time a Girls in Property Christmas Gala will exist that I will be putting on. I will not be putting on another Girls in Property Christmas Gala. I won't do it. I will be putting on annual events, and I will be looking for future events for Girls in Property, for in-person events quarterly throughout the year. But this will be the only time a Girls in Property Gala exists. So when I say that with such love and pride, in saying I'm going to do it once and I'm going to do it bloody amazingly. So if you want to come and see it, and you want to come and be a part of it and be a part of the change you want to see, with having 80 women in a room at Christmas, all having the time of their lives, then come along. And it's the experience that I want you to have. It's getting in the room. It's investing in yourself. Like, this is the bit that I really want to highlight as well. Like, yes, it's an investment in yourself, but my God, who else is there to invest in? And I understand that there are children, and I understand that there are families around Christmas time. Believe me, I understand. But at the same time, what about you? What about a Christmas present to yourself? What about being like, do you know what, for 2025, I would have met these incredible women who could have opened so many doors for me to 2025. That's what you got to think to yourself about getting in the room. It really is. And like I said, depending on how I choose to do it going forward, whether I do an event, for example, just before Christmas where it's girls and guys, for example, or partners as well, that could be an option. But this will be the last event that I do single-handedly where it's just for women in the property industry at Christmas. So if you want to come along, then just DM me the word gala and come and literally have the time of your life. I am so excited about it. I'm so proud of it. I can't wait for you all to see what I'm creating. As always with these events, when you see these events take place, there's usually like a whole team that goes into it, 10 people. You've got like a person that's in charge of sales, a person that's in charge of marketing, a person that's in charge of like actually putting the event on. As you all know from listening to the podcast and joining me on my journey, I still am a one woman band. And I still am a one woman band because at the end of the day, I'm still putting on these events that effectively just break even or even make a loss for me because I believe in the future and I believe in what it is that I'm creating. And sometimes you have to do that and have that belief in yourself that you know that what it is that you're looking to go forward with. So right now, I can't afford a massive team of 10. What I can afford is a person to help me with some paid adverts, which has been amazing. So I've got one person who I freelance, and I've also got an email marketer, and I've also got a video editor. So I've got 3 people who are helping me to do that. However, in terms of when I send you messages on Instagram, when I put out all of the content, when I'm doing all of the negotiations with all the suppliers and getting everything booked and chosen, that is all me, 100% me. And believe me, if you've never put on an event before, I challenge you to put on an event on your own for 80 women around Christmas and have to deal with that. It is huge challenge that I have taken on, and I'm pleased I took it on. Would I do it again? No. But I'm glad that I've done it. I can't wait to see you all there. I am so excited about it. Um and I just know it in my heart, the caliber of the women that are going to be in that room and the possibilities that are going to be created for 2025 for the women who choose to be in that room. I could literally list off so many women I know who came to the April retreat back in 2024 April who are now in business together. I know them so well, and it's amazing to see. It really is. Like, for example, one of my mentees, Lucinda, as well, she's now working with Melanie up in the north, on projects that she's doing because she met her in the room, um, at the retreat. These are the connections that you can make. This is what you can really put together. And it's all about creating that spider web, as I call it. And that's how I've managed to be where I am today, is connections, and the spider web that you create of who do you know who could do that. Investors, for example, being in the room, learning from others, and just having a bloody good time. It's been a long year, 2024. We've got so much to celebrate. Let's have a goddamn good party and celebrate as well. So you know where to find me if you've got any questions. Bring your best sparkly dress. If you're coming solo, come is the only thing I'd say to you. Honestly, get your bum there. You'll absolutely love it. You've got to start somewhere, and what better place to start than the Girls in Property Christmas retreat with 80 other women. It would be sensational to have you there. So come along, have some fun. If you've got any questions at all, just send me a direct message. I would love to have you there. There are about 15, just over 15 tickets left, so I would love to make this a sellout event. So if you know anyone else who would love to be a part of it, then come along to the gala. If you direct message me, then I can give you a special discount code for 10% off your ticket. If you're listening to this podcast, just let me know. And then I will see you all there on Saturday, the 7th of December at Pendley Manor from 5 p.m. until sort of midnight, late. And I cannot wait to see you there. I'm now going to go off. I've got a week before I leave for Mexico. Hope you're listening to this, while you're in Mexico, and hopefully I'm listening to this while I'm in Mexico and smiling in the sunshine. And I look forward to seeing everybody there. And if you need me in the meantime, you know where to find me, Athena Dobson _official and Girls in Property on Instagram. But yeah, get your bum there, and I'll see you soon. All the best, guys. Have a good week. Enjoy. Bye.